Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Jay's Beer Review. Today we're going to do something a little different today. Today I am joining the Adjudicators of the Round Barrel for one of their beer sampling things, and this is the president of the club, Frank. And why don't you go ahead and give a little talk about what we're going to be doing today.
Well, we are a club that was put together about 3 years ago now, and we taste beers. We taste beers from local beers, beers around the world actually, and we sample them and rate them, and then we give our results out to bars, local bars, and so on.
Oh, very cool. So you go out to the bars and tell them what you thought about the beers.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know that was part of it. So,
yes.
So I guess we won't be just doing one beer in particular. We're going to be doing a couple different ones.
A few, 4 of them.
Excellent.
To be
All right.
exact.
Well, let's go ahead and get started then.
All righty.
I think it's because we're brothers.
You go for it, Ned.
I had a very similar approach here. Aroma and appearance were, I think, consistent with what a pale ale should be. So I'd 8 and a 7. Flavor, but I had the same thing, 20. I just wrote in big letters "bland" across my page. I didn't taste anything. It was like drinking a Bud Light.
Whoa!
It was actually worse.
Don't knock Bud Light.
It was actually worse than a Bud Light.
I think Coors Light.
I thought it was worse than Bud Light.
It was somewhere around there. Drinkability, I gave it 5. I think if I, given certain conditions, it might be something appropriate. Either you're just starting out or you've been drinking for a while.
I just got out of prison.
You just got out of prison. You've never tasted beer. And, sexy factor. I did like the label. Give it a 4. Body texture. Texture was fine in my opinion. I wasn't worried about the physicals. So I did give that a full 10, but 54 overall. That's pretty low for me.
Bravo.
I saw a 7 for aroma. Given an 8 for appearance. I liked the look of it. Flavor, you were correct. It was 24. That was right. Drinkability, I gave it a 12, which is actually 7 and 5, so I think that's good. I gave it a 3 on sexy, 8 on texture, and I'm up at a 62.
Alright, well I started out with the aroma, and the aroma, to answer your candy concerns, I had raspberry jelly, and that was where the candy comes from. There is fruit in these, and it was a raspberry type fruit, and definitely that's where the candy came from. I got it immediately. So, and then we go to appearance. Oh, by the way, I gave it a 9 with the aroma. And then by the appearance, it was the head size full. The lacing, I thought was full lacing. And you're right, it fizzled quickly, so longevity was not there. What I liked about it was that there was no particulates. And a pub ale, and this is an English ale, an English pub ale, it should not have any fizz, it should not have any carbonation. And so I thought it nailed it there. I got 9. And then in flavor, initial flavor was a burgundy, which I thought was kind of strange. In a pale ale, usually, the burgundy would be your cask ales and things of that nature. It was soft, settling, which I liked. Duration was a moderate finish on the palate, so it wasn't overwhelming. It's something you could go out and you could drink for with dinner. So I thought that was good. And drinkability, would I buy a 6-pack? Sure I would. Would I buy a second round of bar? Yeah. But 15. So sexy factor, well, it wasn't the best, but you know what? It's got a sophisticated look to it, and I think it's because it's got what looks like either a horse or a dog in the middle with the guy's name signature on the top. It gives it a little more of a,
1742.
Almost like a snobbish look to it, and that's kind of what I liked about it. Body texture, I gave it a 9. It was medium body, creamy and dry. And the overall rating, 85, which means I say that is a very good beer.
Holy cow.
empty, so it's pretty close to all the other ones I've been scoring so far. Aroma was a 7 out of 10. I thought it smelled kind of citrusy, but to me, I don't know, like no one else really said that, right? No one else felt citrus? Okay. It's a matter of my nose.
It's possible.
The appearance was 7 out of 10. I thought it looked close to what you described when you read the book. It sounded like this should be what we're drinking tonight. The flavor then kind of started to go downhill. I got a 23 out of 45. Initial flavor, I wasn't blown away like everybody else with how terrible it was. I broke it down into 15 increments of 15, so I gave it a 10 out of 15. Finish flavor though, it got bad kind of quick, so I gave it an 8 out of 15, and then finish I said 5. Drinkability, I gave it a 6 out of 20. 3 for buying a 6-pack and 3 for buying a round at a bar. Sexy, I thought it looked great. I'd buy it just because of the way it looked. Gave it a 4.
You're on there, buddy. You're talking. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you like that? I want him to say a little more. Okay.
You start acting out some procedures.
It's 50 though. That's where
You're
we're
not
at.
in the video.
We're going to have our guest start off tonight. Our newest
Right.
member here, hopeful member, Jason. What do you got there, buddy? You still adding them up?
He's doing that. Hi, man.
Okay. For starters, I'm going to skip aroma because the first thing I notice when I pour a beer is the appearance. Aroma is the second thing, so I'm going to go to appearance first. Start off.
Can't do that.
Can't, not allowed to do that. Appearance had a 2-finger head with a slight orange color. Lacing, very nice, fluffy and creamy. Head longevity, staying power, and even when I finished it, there was nice lacing in the glass. Body had a hazy look to it. There were no particles floating in it though, and the color was light orange. Again, no carbonation. One of the things you said pale ale should have is carbonations, and none of them did today. But overall, I gave this an 8, which is the best appearance out of all of them I have today as far as appearance. Aroma. Again, I like this a lot. Flowers, pine, and hoppy. That's the best way I can describe it. And I gave the aroma an 8. Flavor. My initial flavor was flowery. The finish was pine and earthy. And then the finished duration or palate, is what I would say, I thought had a coppery, bitter finish. Not a good balance. The finished duration kind of hurt everything else because everything else was going in one direction, and the palate took it in a different direction, and I thought it threw off the balance, and that's the only thing that hurt it. This beer probably would have scored higher if that didn't happen at the end. But I still gave it a 28 in flavor. Drinkability, I gave it a 12 out of 20. I would not buy a 6-pack, but I would buy a second round at a bar. Sexy factor, a 3. Body texture, I gave you 6 out of 10. I thought it was a dry, oily, yet creamy texture to it. Overall ranking is a 65, which makes it a good beer. And overall impression, good flowery pine hoppy mix, almost like an IPA, but the finish kind of hurt it. If the finish didn't go in a different direction, it probably would have scored in the 70s for me. Next. Well, there you have it, folks. That's just a small sample of what took place that day at the beer club, the Adjudicators of the Round Barrel. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed my time spent with the club, and I'm looking forward to future visits with them. So till next time, thanks for watching.